Okay, I'm back, and I am back in my craft room. I think that's, you can see pretty good with that. And so the next step is to choose out your napkins. Now I've already chosen, get down, Bandit. And my dog was in my seat. So the next step is to choose the napkins. I'm going to use this napkin. I'm going to use these napkins. Okay. So that's not the next step though. The next step is to find a color that you like that's either, now since this is my summer journal, I'm going to choose either a monarch or a yellow, maybe amber. And I use, not spice marmalade, I use archival inks because they don't run. And being a art history major, archival ink doesn't eat at the papers that you put it on. Other non-archival inks can eat away at the life of the things that you're putting it on. So if you have a super old piece of paper, it could eat it away eventually, the ink. Monarch orange and fossilized amber. Here we go. I should have looked there first. Anyway. Okay. Now let's see. Monarch. Okay, I guess we're using monarch orange. All right. So what I like to do, because after this step, it'll be harder to put the orange on. I put the orange on the edges so that, yeah, I know I'm changing the color of the yellow fabric to yellow or orange, I don't care. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting it on the edge. See that right here? That's what I'm doing. And I like using makeup brushes for this. I've been experimenting, you know, over the years, or the last year since I started doing these journals, with different makeup brushes. I've done, but what I like, I guess these are makeup sponges, sorry. All right, so, and what I ended up liking the most is to use the brushes, because the bristles don't come out of this. You can really be rough with them, and they don't come out. And I'm good with that. Makeup sponges tend to disintegrate. Let me show you what I mean by that. See, I've had to cut chunks out of here because of the it going gross, and that's the only way I can describe it. Let's see if I can find my gold one. Yeah, I think this is my gold one. See how chewed that up is? Yeah, that got chewed up from La Grama de Oro. All right. I don't know if I need to do both sides to get the edges, but just in case. I like to be uniform. And the next step, we'll get the Mod Podge again, and we'll use the Mod Podge to put on for the decoupage portion of this, and we will put the napkins on these boards with the decoupage. Mod Podge. Now, better get used to me saying Mod Podge, because that's what I've been calling it since I first got introduced to it by my daughter, who's an artist. And been saying it wrong ever since. Not on purpose, but I don't know. I love inking stuff. It's so relaxing and so much fun. So I don't really say much because I'm just getting into the groove. And anyway, doing what I enjoy doing. See, this is why you need, this is one of the reasons why you need to cut off all the strings before you start this portion of it, because once you get into the final phase of the final decoration of it all, you don't want any strings showing. And for the most part, the strings will be hidden. I wonder if I have enough washi tape. I wonder if this is my last summer washi tape. It should be enough. Yeah, I use washi tape in the final step. I'll probably end up putting most of this on fast forward if I can figure that out on my editing software. I use Adobe Rush. I tried a few other ones, but they just didn't work out for me, so I ended up using Adobe Rush because I use Adobe Photoshop on my computer and for computer projects and stuff like that. So yeah, if I could figure out how to make it work, if it works, because I don't have the full version of Adobe Rush. I mean, if I really push came to shove, I could always put this on Photoshop and do all my editing on Photoshop, but that would mean emailing the documents to myself and getting on my big computer, and yeah, certain things I will do on the computer, but editing my stuff in Adobe, not one of them I really want to do. If I could just do it on my cell phone. Well, I hope you're having fun making journals and making writing boards. These are just lovely little accoutrements that go with your journal, and whether you're making junk journals or hybrid journals like I make. Now I make about 6 to 8 in each series. So each themed series has 6 to 8 journals in them. It just depends on my mood and how much fabric I have, because I get most of my inspiration from the fabric I have. And I have a lot of fabric. A lot of people, some people will collect vintage papers. I collect fabric and thread and napkins. Oh yeah, you should see my napkin collection. And I've only been doing this a year. I should have started my channel a year ago when I first started this journey, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted to, but then I realized, yeah, I was just being silly not starting a channel, and I'm sorry I didn't document the whole process. I have the process documented in pictures on my personal Facebook page, but so if you haven't yet joined my group on Facebook, you just go to search for themed journals on Facebook, and you can send a request to join my group. You can show me what you do, and that would be fun. I would love to see your creations. All right, the last side of the last board. My dog is whining at me. His name is Mass Bandit, and he just is a pathetic little boy. When I came home today, he decided to ignore me, so now he's getting vexed because I'm ignoring him. Well, what comes around goes around, my dude. All right, so now that that's done, let me show you what we're gonna do with the napkins. Now, this is what I did with the napkins that well, I haven't posted the video yet, but I'm making faux rice paper, and eventually I'll put the faux rice paper on fabric, but that's going to be I have to wait for the glue to dry, and so that'll be in about 24 hours before that can happen. So yeah, so most napkins come with either a 1-ply or a 2-ply on the back. So what we want to do now is to separate the plies. Now, I'm very pedantic about this. What I do is, you'll see that the napkins have little ridges on the back. If you smooth out a corner, you can invariably get all of the ply at once. So this is just an example of a 1-ply, but you just pull it apart. Now, I'll show you an example of a 2-ply. All right, these napkins are 2-ply or 3-ply actually. So what we want to do is separate 2 of the plies away from the 1st ply. The 1st ply is this pretty part of the napkin. All right, so see these ridges? Now, if you smooth it with your thumb like this, see? All right, here we go. And I grabbed 2 of the plies at once. All right, now let me show you how I decide what I'm going to do with the napkins. Oops, I'm so sorry. All right, didn't mean to make a yuck. All right, so see how that, in order to cover that, the writing board, I need this much of a napkin. All right. Now, on the bigger one, and I'll probably use the bigger one until I run out of space with them. So basically what you need is 2 sides, enough for 2 sides, if that makes sense. All right, make sure that this is, you can see this. All right, so if I go this way, then I can get both sides on one side, but let's look at it this way. That looks like it's the same, regardless of which way I put it. Well, I try to save as much of the napkin as I can in the process of doing it. Okay, so, here's my scissors. And I'm just going to cut down right here. Well, I was going to. I'm just going to eyeball this. After the initial mark, and we'll see how good it is. All right. All right. So we have this much left? Yeah. Okay. All right. So So once this gets on, we'll only have that much left, which isn't bad. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to now know that this is how I need to cut my napkin. And I need 6 of these. All right, see if we can get, I don't think we're going to have 6. So we're going to have to use the other side of that napkin. That's why I was being very careful with how I cut the napkin. All right. All right, here we go. And yes, I fold my napkins back up. Now this is, in my explanation video of why I don't do junk journals, is because I'm a type A personality. Yes, I know, I fold my napkins after I rip them apart. Anyway, guilty, guilty. So we basically will make one, we'll measure again off of this one, make one cut, and then go from there. All right. And the reason why I can't do junk journals is because I'm a type A personality, and the different length and style of pages. My little type A personality cannot handle that. That's on me, because I've seen other people on YouTube make beautiful junk journals, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I just can't make them like that. I have to be matchy-matchy. Okay. So I'm going to get 3 big ones like this. And then I might have to do a few with the other napkin. What I have noticed about depending on what type of, oh, you know what? I could add coffee to these napkins. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I talk to myself a lot out loud, trying to think in my head what I'm going to do for the next step. I'll probably do these napkins, but use coffee with the use the coffee with the Mod Podge, so it makes it darker. Because what I've noticed is that if I use the same color of napkin on the writing board as I do on the outside, it's hard to, the writing board blends in with the napkin, and it's harder to see. Well, when one corner doesn't want to cooperate, you just move to another corner. Yeah, here we go. Sometimes I have to look over the top of my glasses. All right, here we are. All right. Don't be a brat, Bandit. I know. Mommy sat in that chair for a couple of hours after I got home today. And you would not join me. You went and hid. I don't know what your problem is. What's your problem? Say hi, Bandit. You want to say hi to the people up there? Look. See? Say hi. All right. I love you. You need to get down. All right. Bandit jumps up on my lap arbitrarily. Okay. So what I'm going to do with these is each I can get 1, 2 more done with this. Let's take a peek at this and see how it goes. All right. See? Do 1 on one side and 1 on the other, like so. So I can get 2 more out of this, doing it this way. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Okay, I've got 6 here, but since one of the envelopes is going to be in this one, I'm going to do 1 in this color, so it's offset. That's okay. Let's see. Okay, so see, I can only get 1 on each side. That's all right. I have enough. So at this stage, all you're doing is preparing to do the Mod Podge. All right, let's see here. Here we go. 2-ply, 3-ply, I mean. And once you get both sides going, you just plop your hand down in the middle of it and it's good to go. Now what I do with these is I use them for napkins to clean up glue here in the craft room. I also use the other side of it for like kitchen napkins, and I also use them for napkins in my car. So they get recycled and they don't get ruined. And then, you know, if I have pretty napkins like this, like I'm going to have a little bit of this napkin left over. So what I'm going to do before I use the Mod Podge is I'm going to feel along here, make a cut, then I'm going to make it even as possible and give it a cut. And then what I will do, I will either use this portion of the napkin for part of a project during the project, you know, use it for something during the summer project, or I put it in my recycle box and I will use it for making snippets or other stuff. Clusters. Okay, and what I'm going to do with my clusters is I don't use clusters for my projects. That's okay, but I will eventually sell the clusters I put together. And so if you like my scraps, you could look for that eventually in my Etsy shop. I don't have an Etsy shop yet because I haven't launched my lines yet. My goal is to have my first year's worth of journals made by Mother's Day and launch my winter, my spring, Mother's Day all at the same time. And then launch the summer one mid-May, then have a just because journal in between, which means that it doesn't pertain to a holiday or a celebration day or a big gift day. And it's and so that's what I'll do. So yeah, that's down the road a little bit, just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my Mod Podge and I'm going to show you one napkin and how I do it, and then I won't bore you with gluing all the rest of them. So basically I have to wait in between so that the glue can dry before I can flip them over. And so the next big project will be taking all the wrinkles out of these boards, and I'll show you how that's done. It's quite a bit of fun, actually. All right, so I'm going to go get my Mod Podge, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, my Mod Podge is a little low. So I have a big container of Mod Podge. See? Ginormous. It's 128 fluid ounces. And in the year that I've been doing different projects for my journals, I've used 3/4 of this 100 and some odd ounces. Ugh. Oh, don't tell me. Hang on. Yeah, don't do that. It's bad for your teeth. All right. So I'm going to throw some in here, about that much. All right. And then I'm going to go put water in it, and I'll be right back. I'll probably edit this part out, but yeah, I'll be right back. All right. Now I just put the water on top of the Mod Podge, and I'm going to mix it in. Get a cheap, super cheap brush. You're going to ruin it with your glue. You won't be, I use it for other stuff because this is I made the mistake of using my favorite painting brush for glue. And about this much of it is stiff hard. I can't figure out how to make it stop doing that. If you know, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you do that. Okay, so you mix it in like this. I use a plastic container. I was using a glass container, and the glue would get in the grooves of the lid and muck it all up. And I finally used it all up out of that particular jar, and I just quit using it because I couldn't stand it anymore. I have a little trash thing up here that I put most of my trash in. Wow. And I empty it when it needs emptying. Okay, so what I like to do is, all right. All right, let me make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Yep, okay, cool. All right, so I start in the middle, and I keep it really smooth because this is super thin napkin. And you want it to saturate the napkin and into the chipboard. And out to the edges without tearing it. You don't want to tear this. If it wrinkles, don't worry about it. I'll show you how we'll fix that. But if it tears, then we got a problem. So take your time, be patient. I like all the processes of making a journal. It's very relaxing, it's fun. I finally found a hobby that believe it or not, this started out as a hobby. I was scrolling through Amazon, and I saw something called washi tape. And I was like, what in the world is washi tape? And so I Googled it, and down the YouTube rabbit hole, I fell into junk journaling. And I started watching these ladies, you know, Pam at the Paper Outpost, and Natasha at Treasure Books, Eva at Bohemian Crafting. Oh, I love her stuff. She makes pockets like they're so easy to make, and she's like, yes, they're really easy to make, just stop the video and watch. She's a fantastic artist. I just love her stuff. And other ladies that I watch, Jessica at Paper Terrace are some of my favorite ones. Now Now remember this one. What am I doing? Oh, I know what this is. All right, I'm an idiot. Yeah, every once in a while I have a brain fart and I'm like, what am I doing? Okay. Now, if I was smart, I would do this. Every once in a while, you try to make less work for yourself, and every once in a while, you succeed. Every once in a while, you're like, why did I do it that way? I could have done it so much easier another way. So, now this is the the reason why I was having a conversation out loud to myself. I mean, it really didn't make much sense, I'm sure, is because I couldn't remember if this was one of the ones that I had to have one for both sides or it wrapped around. This goes around one side only. And I still may have to cut the other ones up, and oh, see, this is where it ends. All right. Bandit, quit squeaking at me. You have your wee-wee pad. I'll take you out in a little bit. Be a good boy for mommy, because you were a little brat to me earlier. Yes, you were. I don't know what got in, what bird got up his ear, but anyway, I came home today and he just ignored me. And he's never done that, ever. He's only 18 months. He's still a puppy, but he always comes to me and we cuddle and we hang out and we play a little bit. And nope, he completely ignored me today. I don't know why. So now mommy's ignoring him and he doesn't like it. Now he whines at me. Okay, so see that? We're almost done here. I got a wrinkle here and a couple wrinkles up here that need to be dealt with. And like I said, if it wrinkles like this, don't worry about it. Thanks to Pam at the Paper Outpost, I can show you how to do it and not worry too much about it. All right. Thing about my craft room, it's very small. This desk is very small, and I sort of have to make room for every little step that I do. It's ring around the rosies. I make lists, so these are my lists. Put those over there so I can only do 4 at a time because of my limited space on my desk. So my dog will be glad because I'll take him for another walk and then I'll start editing the videos. And that'll be my crafting day. I've had fun crafting with you guys. And I hope you're crafting. If you're not crafting, I hope that you do enjoy crafting. Maybe you're waiting for glue to dry like me. All right, now you can only do one side, of course, at a time. So this, I have to watch how far up I go. I don't want to go any further than the line. Bandit, stop whining, please. Mommy will be done shortly. Yeah, you have your, stop it. And so that when I wrap it down to the, to do the back side, I'm not running out of napkin. We'll see. I've never tried to wrap around like this, so this will be interesting. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to jostle that. Still not used to filming while I do my stuff. Usually I'm listening to another YouTuber do junk journals, and while I craft along with them, and it's always been fun. So what I'll do for the this will be a two-part video. It'll be this portion of the writing boards, and then the getting rid of the wrinkles portion of the video. And what I'll do is when I do the other side, I won't videotape it because, you know, you've already watched one side. You don't need to watch two. And then after that, I'll come back with, well, let's finish these up. And you can see how I finish them up. All right. Hang on. There. Okay, I'll be able to do all but one this time. All right, no big. All right. Yeah, if I had been smart before, I would have done it over here rather than having to move it. So this time I'm going to try to be smart, and then I'll just leave it in place. Now what'll happen, you're going to, don't freak out, band it. Don't freak out, but these boards will buckle as they dry, and that's okay. They may even blow up like balloons. When I was doing a straight stitch instead of the zigzag stitch along the ends, they buckled really badly and they blew up like little balloons. But with the zigzag, they don't buckle as bad. And I accidentally found that out with the last set of boards I did. So, yeah. All right. You don't need to lick me, boo-boo. I love you too. Bandit, Mass Bandit's in my lap. I call him Bandit for short. And yes, he is a thief. He steals. So my lesson is learned. If you don't want your dog to be a thief, don't name him after. Don't call him Mass Bandit. And if you don't want them to be you know what from you know where, don't name him Snowball either. You want them to be nice little doggies. Yeah, I had a cat named Snowball. Rotten thing. Gave him to my sister-in-law and became an angel. He put on his, took off his devil horns and became an angel. Hated me though. No, it's okay. Feeling was mutual. So you want to try to get all of the air bubbles out from these little, right here, like these little ribs. Yeah, they're bubbles, and you sort of want to tease them to the edge and pop them. Once they're popped, then you're good to go. All right. And if they don't pop, that's okay. The right now, once these are dry, the ridges would be too the ridges would be too rigid to write on without making a mess of what you're writing, the paper that you're trying to write on. So eventually what I'll do is I'll take all of these ridges and they'll be good. There'll be no more ridges, and it'll be nice and smooth and lovely. And there we have it, folks. This is making writing. This is how I make my writing boards here at Theme Journals. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And I will talk to you all later. You all have a great evening. Good night.